If you joined the conference late, my name is Tiffany Oda. I'm the COO on the Talkbase team based in San Francisco. It's my third time here in 8 months, and I feel like I'm becoming a local. So thank you so much for having me here today. The first thing I want to talk about is kind of what we're all here for, the community. So I don't know if you know, but, oh, okay. Did you put it up there? Okay, so we're going over the schedule. I'm Tiffany. I'm there. I'm in charge of kind of warming y'all back up as you're digesting and getting back into session and learning mode with our open and curious minds. And then we have an amazing lineup following me, and then a surprise in networking. But one of the things that we are here for is making friends, building community, learning about community. So I wanted to quickly plug the Talkbase Friends community. Yay! We have a bunch of community people in there who are inspiring, sharing best tips and tricks and best practices with each other. We have some amazing events run by both Talkbase and others in our community. So be sure to join the Talkbase Friends community by scanning that QR code and joining our Slack community. And I'm going to give people a chance to take their photo. And then speaking of photo, I want to take a time to, this is our first conference ever. It's brand new. A couple months ago, Clara was like, let's do a conference. And we were like, okay, sure. And so here we are today. Love all of it. And I kind of wanted to do a surprise selfie and bring Clara up on stage and have all of you in it with us. Okay, I can do it. Yeah? Yeah. All right.
Do we have everyone?
Everyone squeeze in. Maybe all the speakers?
And
And then feel free to stand up in the back if you want to.
oh, I love it.
All right, I'm going to take a bunch. Everyone say community.
Yes.
Yay. Thank you, everyone. Okay, now that I'm way behind time, let's go ahead and start talking a little bit about a session. I'm going to do a really quick lightning talk just to kind of get your brain processing again after the lunch so you don't, hopefully don't fall into food coma, and talk about how community can be the center of excellence across your company. Lightning talk, because I only get 10 minutes, everyone else gets 20. So, some of you may be on different paths in your community journey, in your community life cycle, whether or not you're just launching your community or your community has been around for years and is fully cross-functional. You are going to be cross-functional at some point in your time. And why is community cross-functional? Well, first of all, many of us know that there's so many components to community. There's online and in-person events. There's programs like super users or user group programs. There's the forums, there's gamification, there's product ideas, there's a plethora of ways for people to engage. And because of that, there's a lot of engagement touch points. A certain user, a certain community member can have a completely different experience within the community from another person. And because of that, the number of different touch points, it at the end of the day leads to customer happiness. The people who are engaged in the community are more affiliated with the company. They have a personal connection with the people and the company and the brand itself. And at the end of the day, there's correlations between engagement and interaction in the community and their happiness level. And because of that, community also spans across the entire customer lifecycle. So from the time of evaluation, they are in the community, they're learning, they're getting to know the company, the product, the features, they're getting acquainted with the culture of the community as well. And then the sales process. Have y'all heard of community qualified leads? Yeah, kind of? Ish? Okay. So people who tend to dabble in the community have a sense of that familiarity, and they tend to go through the sales pipeline faster because they already have the kind of one step up with regards to cold leads or people who are just coming in to learn about the company that way. Onboarding. This is where I personally get the most familiar with communities. When I'm onboarding, I have the most questions. I'm trying to implement. I have the most problems, and I'm looking in the community for the answers, and that's a great way for people to get introduced to the community. And then through success and retention, You're a customer, you're using the platform, you're using the product or the service, you have a problem, you reach out to support. Or you have an idea for a new feature or a bug that you encountered, you log it in product ideas. And so throughout that process, you're becoming more familiar with the community. Maybe you're attending some webinars on new features or new products that are coming out. Maybe you're attending like a product manager webinar, or maybe you're attending a community event, and maybe you're becoming a user group leader. You're becoming a little bit more of an advocate with the company. And then at the end of the day, renewals, everybody has a finger or a pulse on the responsibility of renewing a customer. And so as a customer, you have a higher chance of renewing and not attriting if you are engaged within the community. And because community is present throughout the entire span of the customer lifecycle, different teams are involved as well. So during the evaluation phase, marketing is involved with the website, with hosting events, with providing those resources, maybe customer referrals to a certain extent. Sales teams are responsible for helping to make sure that there's good product fit and making sure that they're signing the deals. Customer success is obviously very included in the onboarding process, also in kind of the retention process, also in customer satisfaction scores, collecting those NPS scores or making sure that the customers are satisfied. And then from the adoption and retention standpoint, product is very involved. They're looking at what features are being asked for. You don't want to build your product in a silo. So you want to be building your product based off of what your customers want. And the best way to do that is to be looking in the community. And then same thing with support. They want to make sure that your customers are feeling supported. And they're looking in the forums. They're making sure that questions in the community are being answered. They're making sure that people are feeling supported and have the tools and the resources that they need to be successful. And then everyone is kind of involved with renewals. Everyone has a hand on the customer. Everyone is responsible for the company's success through sales, through customer retention, through customer satisfaction. And so at the end of the day, like it's a full party for community. Everybody should be aware of community, which is why internal enablement and education is oftentimes an unofficial, really big part of our job, is teaching others in the company about how to engage in the community, what the community is, and the value that community can bring to your company. Some of you may know this slide. I call it the star diagram, and it was created by my former manager, mentor, and friend, Holly Firestone. I wish I had created it before she did, because I use it all the time. I think it's a really good depiction of the cross-functional impact that community can bring as the center of excellence for a company. And I know I'm kind of short on time, so I'm not going to go through everything in super detail, but you can see for each of these teams, these cross-functional teams, some of these shared KPIs or shared goals or shared initiatives that community can have with each of them. So looking at things like case deflection for support. How many less cases are being received from support because they're getting answers in the community, which then can decrease response time, it can increase customer satisfaction. People don't want to reach out to support. They want to be able to be self-service. That's a really good touch point for collaboration. Or same thing with product, being able to prioritize that product roadmap based off of what your customers want. There's a lot of really good cross-functional opportunity here. And then I really like ending my sessions with actionable takeaways. What can you do tomorrow? Well, not tomorrow, because tomorrow's a conference still, but what can you do on Wednesday when you go back to your jobs to actually start embarking on this cross-functional journey? I think the first thing is determining who your key stakeholders are in all the different teams. And this doesn't necessarily need to be like head of the team. It could be your best advocate. It could be your best supporter. Maybe somebody who understands the community and has been really involved. And then think about how that relationship is going so far. What are the shared initiatives that you work on? What do you want to start doing? What do you want to stop doing that's maybe counterproductive or maybe a little bit detrimental? And then what do you want to continue to doing and continue to do? And if you want to continue to do it, how do you evolve it to make it better? Then I'd recommend setting up an individual meeting with each stakeholder, and in that you kind of set the scene. You talk about what you've done so far, how much you appreciate the work, talk about some shared goals to make it a win-win situation for both teams. And then think about some actionable and small steps. Maybe it's a product webinar series that you want to run in the next quarter. Maybe it's focusing on certain knowledge-based articles that you want to write together. Maybe it's focusing on decreasing the number of unanswered questions in the community by X%. So you can start thinking about actionable and small steps and small initiatives and projects to take on with those different stakeholder teams. And then I consider myself an extended part of those teams, and they are an extended part of my team as well. And just like you're meeting with your team members regularly, you want to establish a regular cadence with your stakeholders as well. So, meet with your product manager every week, or meet with them bi-weekly, that's fine. You can kind of start sharing those initiatives together and really create that cross-functional collaboration. And just the most important thing is, just like community is built on trust, on transparency, on communication, the same holds true with those relationships that you have with your stakeholders. All right, I have no idea where I am on time. Hopefully I'm okay, but thank you so much.